Okay. How is strategic thinking different from intuitive thinking? Okay. Uh, in the previous slide, I introduced 4 key elements of strategic thinking. From this slide, I'll tell you what the strategic thinking is by comparing it with opposite concept of strategic thinking, that is intuitive thinking. So this is one of the cases. Okay, how do we rebalance the current business portfolio? Okay, think about the situation where you have invested in various business portfolio. Business portfolio means you invested in a lot of business sectors. For example, telecoms and travel industry and healthcare industry, construction industry, and mining industry, or automobile manufacturing industry. If you are the owner of a big conglomerate, you may have invested your capitals in a lot of multiple business sectors. Okay? And as an owner of the business conglomerate, you may want to rebalance your current business portfolio because some business sectors are growing and becoming more attractive. Other business sectors are not growing, and the business sector which used to be very attractive may not be attractive anymore, right? That's why we have to rebalance our capital investment in a lot of multiple business sectors. Okay, so if you see the picture, they are the executives of the company, and as a group they are discussing very actively and very intensively to how to rebalance their business portfolios. Some of the executives may say, okay, oh, it's quite simple. Okay, rebalancing the business portfolio, it's quite simple. I have an experience in investing in the business portfolio areas for over 20 years my business careers. So my over 20-year business experiences tell me to increase investment in fintech. Fintech means tech industry in financial industry. Okay, a lot of system improvement in payment systems are the area of the fintech and next generation IT systems. A lot of companies are having the infrastructure of ITs, okay, computers and servers and data warehouses, a lot of infrastructures, right? And then next generation IT system means very innovative and energy efficient and processing a lot of data very quickly. Okay, so we call that next generation IT systems. So one of the executives is strongly emphasizing to invest in fintech and new generation IT systems based on his over 20-year experiences. Okay? And then another executive might present his idea that let's give up our overseas business where we lose our current market share. Okay, we may guess that they have invested in overseas business, which might be any industry, right? And then when they discuss about this topic, their overseas business might lose the market share. And those arguments are, all of the executives' arguments are from intuitive thinking. What is intuitive thinking? Presenting the answer without proper strategic thinking. What is the difference between intuitive thinking and strategic thinking? If you are a strategic thinker, you may not quickly present your answers, whether you have to invest more or whether you have to decrease your investment. Instead, strategic thinker present his ideas, such as, okay, before making our decision to rebalance our current business portfolio, let's have a look at the market size, market growth, market profitability, the competition, the trend in new technology, and our core capability in each of the business sector first. And after analyzing and collecting the objective facts and data, and then we will have a look at those data and use those collected data in making our judgment whether which area we have to invest more or divest more. So do you understand my point? The difference between intuitive thinking and strategic thinking. Okay. The final answer might be the same, but intuitive thinker does not rely on fact gatherings. They rely on their experience and their knowledge instead of the facts or objective evidence. Strategic thinker instead rely on those facts or objective evidence before making the decisions. So strategic thinking leverages the fact-based thinking and zero-based thinking. If all the executives in the meeting room relies on the intuitive thinking, they may not reach to the conclusions because everybody has their own experiences and their own knowledges. Some people may think investing in fintech and next generation IT system is great because he has a lot of experiences in those areas. But other executives who suffered a lot of failures in those fintech and next generation IT systems may argue that we do not have to increase investment in those areas. If all the participants use their intuitive thinking, as I said, it takes longer and longer in meeting without making any consensus. But with the strategic thinking, okay, let's gather some information or facts about the market size, market growth, market profitability, the competition, new technology, and core competencies. And then, based on those objective facts, let's make a conclusion. So that's the way strategic thinking operates. Okay? Let me move on to the next topic. How do we set sales target? Intuitive thinkers may argue like that. Okay, according to the relevant article I read recently, we need to set the target as high as possible. Why? It may be very hard to achieve such stretched goal, okay, but we could achieve at least 80% of the target. Okay, if one of the executives may present his ideas, I think this is intuitive thinking, because he have a lot of experiences and knowledges, and he rely on such knowledge or experiences as a basis of his argument, saying that we have to set the target as high as possible, right? But that may be right, but according to the circumstances, setting the target as high as possible may not be very good way to set the targets. If all the salesmen or the participants of an organization are very reluctant to work in case the target is very high, setting the target as high as possible is not a good way to draw the best result. So I mean that to some people, stretched goal might work very positively, but to other people, stretched goal may make such people give up to try the stretched goal. Okay? Strategic thinking do not make any conclusions at all, and instead they do the surveys first to the organization participant, and then the graph on the right hand side box shows the relationship between target level of the target level and the willingness to challenge. Specifically in this organization, if you set your target to around 100% of the last year's performance, the participants are not willing to challenge because this year's target is almost similar to the last year's performance. Okay, so in this case, the target level is too low. By increasing your target level from 100 to 108, the participant of the organization's willingness to challenge increase to the target level of 108. So that means you increase your target by 4%, by 8% of your last year's performance. At that level, the willingness to challenge of the organization participants is the highest, is the high. But once you set the higher targets over 108 level, the participants' willingness to challenge level deteriorates. So that means stretched goal over 108 level is not providing any positive influence to the willingness to challenge, and the participants start to give up to try hard. Okay, so if you have such objective evidence, what is the best target level of sales target for the people in this organization? That is 8% higher than the last year's performance, right? So you don't have to argue about the level of the sales target with the other participants based on your experience or based on your knowledges. You can simply collect some objective evidence and rely on such evidence in making the decisions. So those are the strategic thinking process. But other groups, other companies may have different graphs between the target level, other graphs in the relationship between target level and willingness to challenge. Okay. Some other groups may, in some other groups, strategic goal may work. So 108 may not be the proper level. Instead, 130 might be the highest level to increase, to encourage the participants' willingness to challenge. So who knows? Okay. So